Hello, everyone. Long time no see. Why is this so tall? Hang on. I've got too many books underneath. There we go. It's been a minute since I've done a live reading. Welcome. If you want to catch me next time, I am usually live every Tuesday night. Next Tuesday night, though, is going to be a members only night. So if you want to see me next week and you missed tonight, join the membership and you will be able to get access to our member only live next week. And we are going to be doing some fun psychic games next week. We're going to be reading with rocks. Not going to spoil any more than that, but feel free to join us. I've got my timer set for whoever is going to win our free member reading tonight. Let me see. I have a few announcements for you guys just because it's been a while. I basically was doing a bunch of extra lives in August, and then we went back down to weekly lives for September. But last week I was on vacation, so we didn't have a live last week. So hoping to stay on for a good amount of time tonight. I'm so excited. I really miss you guys. I've been looking forward to tonight a lot. So yeah, members next week. And I have a few asks for you guys. So I'm recording all my October videos in the next few weeks, and we've got all sorts of very fun October videos planned. And I need orb photos or videos. So if you've got videos or photos where you think you captured an orb, I want you to send it my way. You can do so through my website. You can do so through my Instagram. So if you have any, even if it's like years and years old, that's okay. Even if you don't think it's an orb and you're like questioning, send it my way. It might be featured in my video because I need like examples to basically be like, this is an orb, this is not an orb, this is what this is. And yeah, and then October, expect a bunch of fun Halloween videos. And I also have a giveaway coming up. So if you are not following me on Instagram, do so, because I'm getting together a bunch of spooky fun people and we're kind of making this big Halloween box giveaway to give to you guys. Part of my donation will be a reading, obviously, but we've got some other cool people in there giving some things as well. Hi, Michael. Hey, Lori. Thank you, Cheyenne. It was chaotic. I went on a vacation with a 1-year-old. It wasn't really a vacation, but it was good practice. We did have a lot of fun, though. We went to the beach and we went to Disneyland, so ton of fun. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, and what you're seeing right there is floating hair and fuzz. So not an orb, and we'll talk about that in my video. But some of you guys have already sent me some photos, so thank you. I'm really excited. I need like 2 or 3 more, and then I'll feel good. But I would use some if I had some, but I don't have any. Maybe I do. Maybe if I looked. Anyway. Yeah, guys, I think that's it. So let's jump into the message for everyone, and then we can get into the individual readings. So let's do it. Hey, silly rabbit. So tonight we're going to go back to our pick a card readings. So I have pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. If you need to pause the video really quick and feel out which one is for you. This reading tonight is all about the autumn equinox. So we just had a full moon in Pisces, and now tomorrow night we have the fall, the start of fall officially starts. And so the reading that I'm going to do is there's 3 cards for each pile, 3 piles total. And even if you're drawn to more than one, you can listen to all 3 and maybe there's some messages there. I'll try to go through each of them quickly, but I basically found this tarot spread for the autumn equinox. And, you know, the harvest moon, the fall equinox is all about like harvesting what you've basically been putting into this year this far. And so at the start of this new season, it's like, what's what's here, what have I put my time and effort into, what have I manifested. And it's also about like being appreciative and grateful for all the abundance that you have around you, and then also being aware of like anything else that needs to be let go of. So each of these piles will definitely cover that. I'm noting this so I can go back and look. Yeah, no, it's definitely fuzz. I'm pretty sure it's fuzz from this shirt. I got this shirt while I was in Disney. I don't know if any of you guys are big park fans, but I love the Jersey shirts. I don't know if you can see them. I'm a huge fan of the Jersey shirts. They're so big and comfy. I love them. All right, so let's do this. Okay, pile 1. So the first question that we're asking, and this is, if you really like this spread, by the way, her name's Intuitive Chelsea. I follow her on Instagram, and she always has really good spreads. But the first question is, what is ripe and ready to harvest? So pile number 1. Ooh, that's interesting. So pile number 1, riding the wave, which is basically this card is all about going with the flow and not resisting, is understanding that life can be chaotic and you don't want to fight the wave, you just want to ride the wave. And I'm trying to think, how would that be in relation to harvesting? I'm asking my guides, and I think it's more so that we're about to go into this zone for autumn. Maybe you guys have been controlling and, sort of like, it feels like a good thing. Like sometimes when we get ride the wave, it's like, don't go against the flow. Don't be all stressed out. Don't try to manic manifest. But with this one, it feels very much like, okay, you did all the work, ride the wave of what's about to come. I actually feel like really good about this card. Like you guys have put in the work. You might have had to be very controlling of like, I put in this amount of effort and then this amount of effort comes back to me, but it almost feels like you've done everything you can do. So for fall, it's all about just writing out everything that you've been working on, manifesting. Don't like necessarily too much more energy into it. It's more about like enjoying where you're at. Okay, and then the next part of pile number 1 is, how can I give thanks for the abundance I've sown? If you guys want to like look up this, I'm only doing 3 of the 5 cards, but if you're looking for it, you want to save it for later. What is being shed this season? Ooh, I feel like pile number 1, this is like a lot about money for you guys. So I pulled the Jack and the Beanstalk card. This is my fairy tale tarot. Shed? Or sorry, did I say the wrong one? So the second card is, how can I give thanks for the abundance I've sown? And I feel like this is really about like appreciating the hard work that you've put in. My guides are telling me like, this is your pile. I'm like, okay, cool. But Jack like takes forever to climb this beanstalk, and he's doing it, to save his little family. And what happens at the top? He, obviously there's some struggle, but he gets to the top and gets the reward that he's asked for. And let's see. I just feel like pile number 1, you guys have done like everything you can, and now again it's riding the wave. How can you give thanks? It's more about looking back. Like Jack is looking back at this small little house that is in the distance, and I feel like he's coming down and he's carrying this bag of like gold or whatever he got at the top. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've heard that fairy tale. But for you guys, it's very important to just understand what it's almost important for you guys to like literally, they're showing me like sitting down and forcing yourself to be like, where was I at and where am I at now? And wow, holy cow, how far have I come? Like I need to stop complaining. I've done so much. I've gotten so far. And I feel like right now we're just so focused on the next thing that we want to manifest that we're not appreciating like how far we've come. And that's the thing, is once you get into that zone of being grateful and seeing this path of abundance that you've been on, it attracts more and it gets you more to that spot that you want to be in. Okay, and then the last card for pile number 1. Sorry, I'll try to go faster. What is being shed this season? And I got the Divine Child card. And so I'm going to look at the shadow attributes of these. So we're stepping into our more divine child self. And to me, the energy of that just sort of feels like being connected spiritually, being connected intuitively. I'm hearing the words like not being afraid to be yourself and stand up for yourself in a lot of ways, and like be the weirdo that you are is what I'm hearing. And because of it, it's like you are connecting more with yourself, and therefore you're making more intuitive connections with the divine. And so this pile number 1, you guys are just, this fall is going to be awesome, I feel like. And I feel like where we have been is we've been having a hard time of like protecting ourselves, protecting our energy. I feel like it's more in relation to like the time and the effort and the burnout that we've been experiencing this year. And that's about to come to a close, at least for fall. So good stuff, pile number 1. So let me do pile number 2. Mickey the Chinchilla. I'm surprised you guys remember when I talk about things like that. Hey, Jordan. So we're going through the group reading right now. So this is pile number 2 out of 3 piles. And we're talking about the autumn equinox. So okay, pile number 2, I almost feel like it's the opposite, just energetically, before I even look at these cards. So what is ripe and ready to harvest? I pulled the coming to life card in reverse. And so to me, this says like, you're not necessarily wrapping up a new chapter. It's not starting a new beginnings. You guys are in the middle of something. Let me jump ahead and read some of these other cards, just so I feel like you guys are in your head way too much. I feel like pile number 2, you guys are definitely going through more of a struggle. And what you're harvesting is almost like a result of where you've been in the past. So this Princess of Wands card, which I pulled for the second one, this is where I feel like we've been. And she's like ragged and tattered, and she's riding a goat. And I know she's like happy in this picture, but the feeling that I'm getting is like desolate energy. Like I'm hearing survival mode. I think that a lot of us in this year have been like going through the survival mode, just not really. I feel like you guys keep trying to manifest things and everything just keeps falling apart. I feel like I should have pulled more cards for this pile, but I feel like because we are so stuck in that, that's more of what we're manifesting. And so what are we bringing to harvest? Because harvesting is all about like, okay, what did you plant and what grew? And so if you're planting negative thoughts and negative emotions, what's going to grow is, you know, the attraction of that same thing, negative things in your life. My guides, I don't normally like to read the book, but they are just like screaming at me to grab the book for this card. So obviously there's something I'm missing. The coming to life in reverse is a gentle reminder to get out of your own way, to let go and let spirit lead. New life is unstable in the beginning and it needs gentle care. Farmers don't go into their fields and pull up the shoots of plants to see how they're doing. They know that everything has its own cycle of growth. Let nature take its course. Find other things to focus on right now. Simplicity and small steps are the order of the day. When the time is right, you will see a miracle. So I feel like even though I'm saying all these things, this doesn't mean you can't turn it around. But it's at least a good indicator of like, okay, where has my mind been at? What have I been putting out there in the universe? And how can I sort of flip it on its head? So how can you give thanks for what you have done, for what you have sown? I almost feel like it's exactly the same card. It's like still being appreciative for how far that you've come. You might not be as far as like pile number 1, but look, she's at least coming out of the woods. She's still got some clothes on, and you can't really see it in this photo, but there's like gremlins in the back here, and she's leaving them, and she's in control. And I feel like for you guys, it's more of a mental control of understanding that I can flip the switch at any time. I have total control over my life. And even though that's kind of the opposite meaning of this pile, it was let go of control. It's really about getting back in control of your thoughts, getting rid of the negativity, that inner self-talk that's just not working for you. Okay, and then your last card is what is being shed this season. Oh, interesting. So I pulled the Father card, but the shadow attribute of this card is dictatorial control, abuse of authority. And I'm really feeling like, I feel like the control has been, like, I feel like for some of you, I'm seeing like very specifically that up until this point in this year, you haven't really been able to control your life because everything else is in the hands of somebody else, like your job, your money situation, like your health. I feel like you haven't had much control over it. And I feel like right now we're understanding that we have that absolute control, that we're not in a dictatorship, that somebody else doesn't have that rulership is the word I'm hearing over us. I feel like in a lot of the ways you guys are looking at your life as like, oh, somebody else or something else is making it bad. It's not me, it's this. If only I had X million dollars. Oh, if only I had this job, if only this person wasn't in my life, then I would be so much better. That's like the negative thinking that we need to get out of for pile number 2. I feel like pile number 2, you guys are so just about like getting out of this headspace. It's this cycle of, feeling like you have to control everything, feeling like everyone is out to get you in a way, the universe is out to get you, and then because of it, you end up manifesting more of that. I do have a hard time with negative thoughts, not gonna lie. Hi, Deirdre. Okay, so pile number 3. Okay, pile number 3. So same spread. First card is what is ripe and ready to harvest. Ooh, I feel good about this. Your intention. Whatever intention you guys have been setting, I feel like you guys are doing an awesome job. If you haven't yet, set your intention of what you want autumn to look like. What do you want to bring out of this harvest? I feel like you guys are in the new beginning stage of like, okay, wrapped up this chapter of my life, and now I'm on to manifesting whatever it is I want next. And I feel like some of you guys have already done this, and this is just confirmation that you've done it in a really good way. Like you're being very clear to the universe. They hear you. You're on the right path. You're like looking at this direction and you're sticking to it. You're not confused about where you want to go. I think, and for like a smaller percentage of you guys, I think you guys are just harvesting exactly what your intentions were. Whatever it was, it's almost like look back and, see if you put on your vision board or if you journaled about it, I want to manifest this by fall or by the end of summer, look back, because I feel like you're going to be like, oh, wow, I totally did manifest that. Either way, whether it's something you're about to do or something you've just done, you guys are ripe for intention setting. Like if you haven't done it, take the time, write out what you want, because for whatever reason right now, you guys are just in a great zone to do this. And then the next one was, how can I give thanks for the abundance that I've sown? 8 of Wands. And I'm reading these cards intuitively. This is the first tarot deck I ever bought. First deck I ever bought. There's a lot going on in this photo. The question was, how can I give thanks for the abundance I've sown? For some reason, I feel like it's like getting away from other people. Like I feel like for you guys, sometimes you need the validation of other people's approval. of, oh, this is what I manifested, or this is the success that I had, or the accomplishment that I have. And when you don't get that outward like approval, you doubt yourself. And I feel like that's what we want to avoid. So in order to give thanks for the abundance, it's almost like, don't look at that outward approval. It's almost about recognizing your own successes and not needing anybody else to tell you that. I feel like you guys are very self-deprecating, and you guys, I feel like all three of these piles are very much like, have a little bit more, excuse me, have more success. What am I trying to say? I'm getting distracted. Yeah, it's almost like, I feel like this guy, I don't even know if I showed this card. I feel like this guy is like posting up something on this tree, and he's like hoping for these people to give him something in return, like, oh wow, you did such a good job, oh wow, such a pretty painting, or something like that. And I feel like people are not going to give you the recognition that you want. I think that's what I'm trying to say. And so for this next couple of months, and I should have said that at the beginning, when I look at the autumn equinox, I'm kind of looking for the next 3 months, for the whole of autumn up until winter. And so how you can give thanks is understand that no one else might be giving you that during these couple months. You might have to give it completely to yourself. And that's okay. I think we need, pile number 3, you need to draw back from seeking outward approval and finding your own benchmark for what makes me happy, what makes me fulfilled, what makes me feel successful. How does that relate to the intention setting? I think that's why you guys are going to manifest whatever it is that you're setting your intention for, especially if you can do this, not look for that outward approval. Let's see. Okay, and then your last card, what is being shed this season? Advocate. And again, I'll look at the negative. Embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Oh, that makes so much sense, especially with this like second card of like, I feel like you guys just care too much about what other people think right now. And because of that, you're getting into situations that are just not helpful. And so that's what needs to be shed for this season. Let's put you first. Let's do it because you want to do it, because you're passionate about it. You want to do it for yourself, not because of, what other people think of you. And I think because of that, you guys are going to come out on the other side being like, I'm seeing you guys as being more of a beacon for other people. And, they're more attracted to the things you create and the things that you're excited about and the things that you do. And so in a way, you're going to kind of get to this point of other people recognizing you for it. But because of it, it's almost like you need to not think about it first, so that you can step fully into like the zone of creating, doing whatever it is you want, manifesting whatever it is you want. And then it's almost like, because you're in that energy, then you'll get that recognition that you're sort of looking for. I hope this makes sense. I feel like I should have like tested this spread out. I feel like it didn't quite flow like I thought it would. Anyway. Awesome. So that is the group reading for this week. So we can jump into individual readings. Clean up these cards. Also, I want to know, what are your guys' favorite Halloween movies? That's another video that is going to be coming up. So I want to know, what's your favorite Halloween movie? Oh, good. I'm glad, Lori. You're welcome, Aura. Okay. So individual readings, how they work is if somebody donates, I will get to them first. You can donate through Super Chat. You can donate through my Venmo. And if you have a Venmo, and Venmo is just as easy as Super Chat, I would prefer it because I get 100% of it versus Super Chat takes 30% of it. Again, not a big deal. I will survive either way. So Amanda donated through Venmo. Thank you, Amanda. Let me see. Cards. Okay. Sometimes people send me their questions via Venmo. So Amanda is first. Is she in here? Amanda, let me know what your question is. Once we catch up on donations, then we go into free readings. Constantine doesn't take place at Halloween. Really? I feel like I watched that movie ages ago. I might have to rewatch it. Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a good one. Hocus Pocus, definitely a popular one. Insidious movies. I know those movies, but it's such a vague name that I can't ever remember what it's about. Thank you, Jordan. I might jump to Jordan until I hear back from Amanda. So Amanda, if you're with me, let me know what your question is. So I'll start with Jordan. 2 questions. I'm trying to contact and work with Amaterasu. Why do I feel like that's like tiramisu? And wondering if you see anything through that. I'm just gonna pull back from my cards and use my intuition. I feel like I'm still warming up. I immediately saw eyes, Jordan. Like whoever this being is, it's like they're opening their eyes and looking at you. I'm hearing like don't get too close. Like their eyes are red, and so I was asking like what does that mean? And I heard like a warning, but not too bad. Like it's not like anything to be like terrified of. Like this isn't a bad being, but they're very protective of their energy and who they let in, and they're like, I'm not here to just play around, is like the energy of this being. I'm not sure who it is, but I'm seeing them behind a pyramid. Is this like an Egyptian person? Am I crazy? But very, very secretive vibes no matter what. Like he keeps like showing me doors closing in front of him, and he's like walking himself further and further in. So the vibe that I'm getting from this guide is like they're not interested in hanging out. Not that you can't try, but it's like earn my trust, which is very interesting. Huh. You don't get that too much from guides, but I think when you're purposely trying to connect to somebody who's not already your guide, sometimes that can happen. Let me just pull a card in case there's something I'm missing. I feel like you pissed him off. I don't know what you did. I feel like you pissed him off. I just realized I didn't even set up my light. Now I'm not so dang bright. Okay. Wow. This guide is definitely like not going to nurture you or give you like loving energy if that's like what you're looking for. So as long as your expectations are set, awesome. I feel like this guide also does not like the stories that have been told about it. And I think that's why it's so hesitant to like work with certain people. He really like he's like, if you're gonna get to know me, like seriously get to know me and spend the time, don't just kind of like half-ass it and be here to like ask a question and then go. Is a female character. That's interesting. I'm getting, and I could be wrong there, but the energy that's coming across to me seems male, and I think it's because it's a little aggressive and closed off. But you can substitute he or she there. I mean, he's telling me that that's like one of the things though is like they've gotten a lot of wrong about her / him, and that's like those doors. Like every time you go past another door, it's like you learn something about them. And then the last card I pulled really quick was Judge. And it's something about judging yourself. When you can judge yourself fairly, then we can talk, kind of thing. I hope I'm picking up on the right energy. But let me get to the second half of Jordan's question. How does Kim feel about me? I'm like seeing like partners in crime, like fun, kid-like energy. She enjoys being around you, but it's very much like, oh, we're high school, middle school friends, and we just kind of like flirt every now and then. It's nothing serious. I don't think she takes you seriously. Let me just pull. Like, I feel like you need to do like something to show her if you're like wanting to, start a relationship that goes a little deeper. It's more about showing her like, hey, I could be somebody serious. Like, this isn't just like fun and games to me. Oh, my timer went off. Who's the closest commenter? Michael. So Michael, you won our reading for tonight. So if you're a member and you comment close to when my alarm goes off, you might get a free reading. So Michael, throw up your question. I think after Amanda, I'll get to you. So how does Kim feel about me? Yeah, I feel like there needs to be like some show that like you're serious about it, because I feel like she just kind of looks at it like, meh. We're just having fun, like definitely like middle school vibes, which is like that immaturity, not knowing each other. You're just having fun to have fun, and it's maybe not anything super serious. And I think it's because she just doesn't know what to do. And I don't know if she would get along well with your spiritual side. I feel like she's just not even close to that herself. And so I feel like there would just be not matched energy there. Not saying that you have to like get rid of that side of yourself or even like force her to do that, but there would be some tension there that I'm getting that I feel like if anything, it's just kind of inhibiting it from happening. It's like happening. It's your energies are just like not matching. The timing is just not right. And that's why things are just not, they're just fun right now. They're just playful. Practical magic. I will be doing practical magic. I guess I'll spoil it for you guys. I'm going to be doing a video where I review little bits and pieces of Halloween movies. And basically I'm looking for like chunks of the movie that might be intuitive, medium, something related. I can't speak very well to witchy things yet. I'm learning. But any of these Halloween movies that I can basically go to a scene and talk about it in a intuitive way, I'm going to do that for one of our October videos. So I'm excited. Death Becomes Her. I don't know if I've seen that one. Thank you. Beetlejuice. Oh. Beetlejuice would be fantastic because there's the scene with the spirit circle. I could totally talk about that. Oh, that would be perfect. Thank you, Lori. I should have thought of that. Okay, so Amanda donated. I'm curious what's vibrating on my. Immediately got spirit, like grandma, relative, a female, motherly energy, medical or spiritual. Let me just jump down and make sure I didn't miss anything from Death Becomes Her is hilarious. I'll have to check it out. I'll just ask, like, is it manifesting physical, Amanda? Like, are you having, like, problems there? I'm just curious. Like, I immediately just saw kind of, like, grandmother energy around you. And that could be, I even pulled the Spirit of Place card. So to me, that's, like, where you're at. It's the energy around you. It's not anything inward. So I'm, like, really trying. I feel like I'm totally what's the word I'm looking for? I'm totally ruling out anything medical. It feels like the place that you're in, even just the person that's around you, whoever the spirit is it's like circumstantial. It's not necessarily the place with this card, but it's like circumstantial, not, something that's been in your body for a while that's like coming up, that like, has been, an underlying condition for a while. I don't see that. Let's see. Yeah, and I feel like she's just giving me messages of like whatever she wanted to say. I think grandma's coming in to just like get you excited about life. I don't know if it's a grandma, like I can equally feel like it's an aunt. But it's definitely like a spirit who's coming in and wanting to get your attention. And there's something about like you noticing that kind of like buzzing, vibratingness that they're like, oh, we got her attention. Okay, she's paying attention to it. So we're going to keep doing that. I feel like she's kind of just like tapping you on the shoulder. If you don't want that, you can tell her to leave. Yeah, I'm not getting like anything medical. That's totally hair, by the way. Physical, like there's a cell phone beneath your skin. Weird. Yeah, and even if I'm wrong, it could just be that like she's getting your attention, and like I feel like it's like a muscle spasm, if anything. And it's almost like she's, even if it's a muscle spasm first, there was a point where you started paying attention to it more, and it's like you associate the two together. And I feel like she's just trying to like get your attention. Let me just pull a card and make sure it's not anything physical. You know what they should make? Somebody should make like a medical intuitive deck. I guess Louise Hayes. Yeah, no, I don't think she has one. Like, if anything, I feel like it's a muscle spasm, but it's not like anything to be worried about. It's very random that it's happening, and it's almost like it's like the equivalent of seeing like angel numbers. You see 1111 all the time, and all of a sudden you start paying attention to it, and so your guides are like, oh, she's paying attention to 1111, so I'm going to start using that as a way to communicate something else. And so that's what it sort of feels like. And I pulled the Lover card, and to me, I just feel like I immediately got like familial love. She's trying to like announce that she's there, give you, just like let you know that she's there and she loves you. And I'm not seeing anything medical. It feels like more spasm. I don't mind it, but I don't know what to do with it. I would be curious, Amanda, maybe tell grandma or, whoever you feel like this is, to be like, hey, could you not talk to me that way anymore? Can we not do that shoulder thing, please? Like, if anything, I feel like it's a spasm. And then if it still doesn't stop, and just do that to see if it's physical or not. And then if it's still happening, maybe it is something physical. And I'm seeing like you stretching. I'm hearing nerves. There's like a pinched nerve that's like causing the spasms. If anything else, like I'm seeing like blood flow. And how do you fix that? I think it's like exercising, stretching, moving your body. Maybe like the lack of blood flow is causing, this to happen. I mean, I'm still definitely feeling like those two things are related. Like this family member is using it as an excuse to get your attention. But yeah, I would try to separate it out. Maybe tell her, hey, don't talk or don't try to connect with me that way anymore. Try to use something else. I'm going to turn off my clairsentience. Yeah, I'm going to turn it off and then separate it and see if it's still happening or not. I'll be curious how that happens. All right. Thanks, Amanda. Let's see. Ghostbusters. That's a good one. Where's all this hair coming from? It must be me. Ghostbusters. Does Ghostbusters have any? I feel like that's more paranormal related. Casper. Oh, I should write them down anyway. I'll think about it later. Rocky Horror. I don't even know. I feel like every time I watch Rocky Horror, I just get more and more confused. All right, so Michael got our next reading, so I'm going to ask his questions really quick. You're welcome, Jordan. What do my guides want me to know about reading tarot? Definitely do it for yourself for a while, Michael. Because I got the Hermit card. Maybe you feel like you have to read other people or you have to provide readings, or maybe you don't trust the readings that you do for yourself, but there's something about doing them for yourself that needs to happen first. Yeah. And I pulled the Warrior card in reverse, and to me this is it literally says skill, discipline, toughness of will. And I feel like you're kind of in this mode of questioning it all because you don't have maybe the skill. Maybe you haven't been able to put in a ton of time around it. But that doesn't mean you're bad at it. You're going to get better at it. I feel like your guides are just they want to hold you up and they want you to hold still and just do it for yourself and get over the self-doubt around it. Are you taking courses through other people? Because the courses, I feel like you should keep doing them. If you're not doing them, maybe look into it. But it's I'm seeing an equal balance of doing somebody else's course, but then also, sitting at home by yourself and doing it. And it's more about learning to read it in your own way. They're showing me typing, when you learn to type, you could do it the exact way that all the software teaches you, or you could just type however you want. And I feel like you're going to find this hybrid of, partly it's going to be partly the traditional way of reading it and then partly your own way of memorizing it and reading it. But it all comes back to being a hermit and just doing it for yourself. I also feel like that's very just intuition related as well. Using your intuition to read the cards instead of being so book smart about it. Yeah, there's something that you're doing that just kind of needs to be pulled back from. I pulled the coming apart card. There's something that's kind of like hindering your motivation around it. Whether that's that you're not doing it enough for yourself or you're beating yourself up about, oh, I'm not good enough about it. I think like the message is to keep going and like push through the hard parts of it, because then you're going to be, it's almost like I see you breaking through the ceiling and being like, oh, I was making it way more complicated than it needed to be. Practical magic. I'm definitely doing that one. Conjuring. That's like the second time I've heard someone talk about that one. Tarot of the Haunted House deck. No! I'll have to look that up. Hi, Savannah. Welcome. Like House on Haunted Hill. Ooh. And I don't watch very many like scary TV shows, but I'll have to check that out. Sleepy Hollow. Yes. That's one of my favorites. One of my favorites. Maybe I should review that one. I need to narrow it down because I have to film it this Friday. Oh, okay. So, Haunting of Hill House. Yeah, that one was really good. Really creepy. Oh, Sleepy Hollow, Constantine. You won't lose her, Amanda. I think you can always tell family members, guides, beings, hey, I don't like you communicating to me through this way. Use something else. Oh, Heidi, you're right. I feel like that scene made me really mad because they were doing it wrong. I need to look that up. You're reading old metaphysical books. Gotcha. Yeah, Michael, I feel like actually like paying for a course might be helpful. But obviously, do whatever you want to do. You don't always have to take my advice. If you're feeling stuck, I think is kind of like the advice there. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold. I apologize. My throat is already starting to hurt, and I'm like, no, I haven't even been on for an hour, just from traveling. But let's see. Well, my son got a little bit of sick, like not COVID sick, but he was around a lot of people, obviously, and he got a little bit of a cold, and I've been having a hard time fighting it off because I'm like, oh no. Giving him all sorts of cuddles because he's not feeling good. Gotcha. I think you'll get it, Michael. I got the Halloween Oracle cards. Nice. I've literally got it in my like queue to buy for our next pick a card reading. I'm gonna do probably a Halloween pick a card where I'm gonna talk to. I think I want to do a Halloween pick a card where I talk to loved ones in spirit. We'll see how that goes. Let me know if you guys would want that. Haunting of Hill House is my favorite I ever watched. Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I don't watch horror stuff either. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Good to see you as well. Okay, I think we're caught up on all the donated readings. Let me just double check. Yeah. Okay. So that means free readings. Oh, that's too easy. I'm thinking of a vegetable. It's a vegetable, right? Yeah. I'm thinking of a vegetable. If you can guess the vegetable that I'm thinking of, then you'll get the reading. Yes, Biddy Tarot is awesome. If you follow her on Instagram, she gives lots of like resources. So vegetable. If you can guess the vegetable that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Hello, banana. Nobody's gotten it yet. Pumpkin! Cheyenne, you got it. I had to think for a second if pumpkin was a vegetable, and I was like, wait, yes, it is. So, Cheyenne, let me know what your question is, and we'll keep doing free readings unless somebody donates. And again, next week is going to be our member-only week. So, members, you have to bring a rock to the reading next week. Or, sorry, the live night. So we're going to do psychic practice. We always do psychic practice on the member-only lives, and then we jump into individual readings. But is squash different than vegetables? I thought squashes were vegetables. Just a general reading. Okay. Wow. These cards could not be more literal. So I heard in my head for Cheyenne, it was like pull a past, present, future. I was like, okay, I'll do that. So past, stuck in the mud. Present, solitude. Future, movement. How like perfectly obvious is that? So I feel like this is very recent, Cheyenne. You've kind of been feeling like energetically stuck. I feel like that's more just like the energy that I'm feeling is like, oh, what do I do? Like I have so many things I could be doing, but I don't want to do any of them. Just kind of like that apathetic energy. Like literally they're saying what you need to do to fix this is get some alone time, get your thoughts in process. Like I feel like you're setting your emotions over here, you're setting your to-do list over here, and you're being like, what do I really want right now? And what are my goals? And like, what am I going after? And then as soon as you have everything like sorted out, like whatever that looks like for you, I really like to journal because when I journal, like I just get my thoughts out and I make all these realizations. Some people like need to talk to other people to like make those realizations. But again, it's like actually sitting down with those emotions, with your to-do list. And I just feel like you're going without a direction. And if you stop to be like, what is it that I want? Like, I feel like you have goals in your head and you're like, but those are 20 years out. Like, I can't get there. And your guys are like, no, you can start on them now. You can make baby steps to get there. Like, sit down, figure out where it is you want to be, where it is you are now. And it's like, okay, well, what do I need at least the next step to get there? And then I feel like you'll have just a little bit more direction and you won't feel like so unmotivated. And then the future, you're going to have movement. It's so funny how these laid out. I'm just seeing if there's anything else with this card. But at the core, it's all about like understanding what you actually want, because then you won't get so stuck and bored, and you're gonna move forward because you want to move forward on some of these things. I hope that makes sense. There's a snail on this ostrich's head. You can't even see, but I feel like this balloon is important, though. I just optimism. And I think, again, it's like going back to, I feel like what they're showing me is like when I was like, oh, I want to have kids soon, and I'm just like not even close. And really, I just got my thoughts in order. I did see a life coach, But literally all the life coach did was just help me like sort out all the things in my life and realize what I needed next. And then I worked towards that. And then I worked towards the next thing and then the next thing. And then it ended up happening literally in the course of like 6 months. And the fact that I even got that far was just like mind-blowing to me, because I was like, there's no way I would have ever done this on my own. I feel like that's like the energy that I'm getting for you, Cheyenne. Oh no, I'm sorry, silly rabbit. I hate when that happens. We have this group here called, I can't remember what it is, but like I did like 5 orders in a row, and every single order they didn't show up, but I just kept ordering because I was hopeful and I really wanted the food, and then I was like, screw you, I'm done. I just got this intense smell of like flavored cigarettes. That's for one of you guys. I don't know who that was for. Maybe it was still Cheyenne because I was reading her, but ooh, thank you, Lori. I'm gonna look at that. Sisters Enchanted. You're welcome, Cheyenne. Okay, let's do another free reading. I'm thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you'll get the next reading. So yeah, remember to send me your orb photos if you have any more. Cheyenne sent me one. I'm excited to use it if she lets me. Sun, yellow, you got it right away. Sun, let me know what your question is in the comments. And just a heads up too, guys, in October, I will be raising the minimum donation price for reading nights. But if you do become a member and do the member-only lives, those will be obviously discounted for a time. What's coming next in my relationship with my guy? I want to pull these cards. I'm assuming you are well, I shouldn't say that. Okay. So they told me to pull one card for him and one card for you. I feel like what's coming up next for you, how you feel about the relationship, is that you're really going to have to put in the dedication, the willpower. This is like strength of spirit. This is an athlete. An athlete goes really long distances to try to make something happen. And I feel like you might not feel like you're getting that in return. It might feel like you're putting all the effort into the relationship. With the future, know that things can change. Like this is I like how John Edwards says it. He calls it a projection. I use the word prescription. I shouldn't use that word because it makes me think of like medical things, but you can change. You can get the advice of what's coming through now and then adjust so that things are better. So yeah, it feels very much like one-sided, you putting in a ton of effort. This person, I feel like you guys are going to have to like sit down and have a talk, but I feel like what he's doing, I pulled the detective in reverse. And so to me, I feel like he's not going out of his way to like find out what's wrong in the relationship, doing some soul searching on, what needs to be better, what can we improve on. Somebody who's a detective seeks out the truth. They have great powers of observation and intuition. I feel like he's not using that in your relationship, and because of that, that's why you're having to like go so far, and like it feels like you're putting in all the effort. And I think if anything, your guides are just kind of saying, hey, this is what's coming up, so what can we do to fix it? I'm going to pull one more card of like, how How can you fix this? Use your intuition at all times. I feel like using your intuition in relationships, at least for me, is like where I use my intuition the most. But it's about like judging the mood, judging what to say. If you never know what to do, it's all about going back to your guides, your intuition, sitting down and saying, what should I do next? Pulling some tarot cards if you have to. I feel like if you're coming from your headspace, you might do things the old way. You might kind of come into attack mode. But if you use your intuition, I feel like you're going to be able to rise above and, balance this out to where you're like, hey, this is what I see happening, but also I'm not going to extend myself and like hurt myself like an athlete that pushes themselves too hard. I'm going to put in the amount of effort that I should be giving back, not overdoing it. Never worked for me. Like he never worked for you. But yeah, that's the immediate future. I feel like he needs to just get on the same page as you of like, where are we going? What are we doing with this relationship? How do we feel? Let me see. No. Intuitive thing. Oh. Well, you're in the right place. Check out my channel. There's probably a reason why you found me. All of my videos are about how to strengthen your intuition more, rely on it more. That's all what I teach here. Thank you, Irhan. Irhan, let me know what your question is. So cool. You never get notifications, Johnny. That's so weird. I might have to like do the research. All I know is that like your phone notifications have to enable YouTube. And then your YouTube has to enable notifications specifically for my channel. But you can go in and customize that and like tell it that you only want to see some from me or you want to see all from me. So make sure you're checking both like your phone and your YouTube. Let me know if you keep having that problem though, Johnny, because I might be able to do some research. That's why I say for the member night next week, put something else in your phone if you have to, in case you miss it. Oh, I thought Michael was talking about the notifications. I thought Michael was saying, if you put in the work, you can get yours to work too. I was like, that's one way of looking at notifications. Irhan, let me know if you have a question. Otherwise, we'll jump into a free reading. We might as well just start the question process. I'm thinking of an animal. If you can guess the animal that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Thank you for your Halloween movie suggestions, by the way. That's more than enough. I should have turned off my phone vibration. Oh, thank you, Karen. Okay, so I have to pay attention. What was I doing? I will give you guys a hint too. It is a bug. What are those called? They're not amphibians. It's been a while since I went to elementary school. What are bugs? Why can't I remember that? Thank you, Karen. Yes, I got you. I'll make sure I answer your question after Irhan. Pay attention. It's a bug. Thank you, Michael. Hang on. Nobody's gotten it yet? Spider. It's ugly. And they like to hop. Okay, Irhan, I see you. Give me 1 second to let me figure out who this is, and then I'll get to you. It's a bug that hops. Grasshopper! Michael, you got it. Wait, Did Michael get the other free reading? You did. No, you got the member reading. Sorry. So Michael still gets to have this one. There's just this big ass not jumping spider. There's this big ass grasshopper that's on my window right now, and I see his belly, and I've been looking at him this whole time, and I just like want to flick him. Like, go away. Okay, so Michael, throw up your question. I'm gonna jump back up to Irhan first, Karen second, and then Michael third. So give me a moment. Sorry, guys. Okay. Irhan's question was like in the middle of all that. Okay, my dad once told me of an encounter he once had with a psychic who stopped him while walking somewhere. He would never tell me what she said. Can you find out? It feels like, Irhan, it feels like something he's embarrassed of. And that's why he didn't tell you. Like, I don't feel like it's anything like, oh, you're adopted and you're actually from this country or something like that. It doesn't feel like life-shattering at all. It feels like she pointed out a flaw in him, and he like was like violated, like, oh my god, why would you tell me that? And then he doesn't want to repeat it because it's like the context of it. If he had to explain that, he's embarrassed about that. Let me just pull a card. Now I want to know. It's interesting because I pulled this card with this woman with the crystal ball in reverse, and I started to read it, but then I realized this was not the best psychic. Like, I feel like she did not have a correct vision. This is the visionary card. She tried to connect to something, and she did it out of personal gain. Selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. And this was happening on both parties. So I feel like, one, she wasn't a good psychic. I mean, anybody that stops somebody on the street and is like, I'm going to just read you, rude, not ethically okay. And yeah, there's something about it that was wrong, but it was like somewhat right. Like, I feel like it was maybe something like medical. Like, I feel like it was like pointing out a body part or something, or like bringing to his attention something that he was insecure about. And then that's the thing, is he was also compromising his vision to you of like what this situation was, because he didn't want to let you in on this. And I feel like I need to respect that, because your father's not here anymore, right? Or if he is, like, he just doesn't, it's too personal. But I don't feel like it's like, oh, somebody's like cheating on you or anything like that. It feels like something small and dumb. Something about like something that he is insecure about physically. And to me, I'm like, what would this psychic say about this? But I think he still validates the experience, because there's some part of it that was correct, but he also is like, I don't want to share that. She told him something about me? No, I think it was something about him. Sorry. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Irhan. Let me make sure I didn't skip anybody else. I'm catching up on my donations. So Karen was next, and then Michael, I'll get to you. Let's see, Karen's question. Karen. Wait, Karen, did you put your question up? Am I crazy? Or did you put it on here? I like what you guys put in the Venmo, like, descriptions. Okay, I don't see Karen's question yet. Yours? Oh, you're right there. My question is about my son's mental health. See anything? Why won't he talk to me? And when will he ever talk to me again? His name is Zach. I'll just kind of touch on it briefly. No worries, Michael. I was trying to feel out the mental health stuff. I don't feel like he's having necessarily mental health issues, like anything that you need to be concerned of. I feel like it's a self-righteousness. It's a, I'm cutting people out because I think that I'm better than them, or for whatever reason he thinks that kind of like closing the door on you at this moment is the right thing to do. Because like I pulled the king in reverse, which is like excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. Like he's really like, in his mind, he's taking control over his life and shutting like you out. But he hasn't yet realized like that's not the healthy way to do it. Yes to everyone. And then I pulled the angel in reverse, and you can ignore the angel part, but the text that's is popping out to me is acting innocent to mislead others, falsely claiming. This says to be in touch with angelic guidance. I just feel like he's falsifying things. He's misleading other people. He's being entitled. He's just like, why is he doing this? I just want to ask. I feel like that's kind of why it's happening. In his mind, he probably sees you as one of many, which sucks because your mom. I can't even imagine that. I hope that never happens to me and my son. He's sabotaging himself right now. I think he sees people as they wronged me, and so I'm going to cut them out. But he doesn't realize how lonely that's going to make him. Self-destructive behavior, the desire to undermine others. I think you're just on the wrong end of it, which completely sucks. Will he ever talk to you again? I think this is what he needs to get over. Like, if I feel like I do see it like crashing down on him, like he realizes, okay, eventually this is not going to work. Like, I'm not going to have healthy relationships if I keep doing this. I'm not going to be happy. But he could equally just be stubborn and fight it and just get worse and worse and worse with that. It's really up to him to make that decision of I can switch. And I'm definitely feeling like it's not, like, no one telling him is going to fix that. If anyone tried to like tell him this, he would just dig his heels in more. Yeah. The most you can do is probably send him love and light, reach out still during moments, but not to a point where like you're overwhelming him. Man, I'm sorry that's happening, Karen. Only child syndrome. Oh, I'm sorry that's happening. I hope it gets better. All right, so that was Karen. Okay, so jumping back up to Michael. Oh, and it's two Michael. Sorry. Michael Kelly, and then Michael Joy, you get the grasshopper reading. Want to pursue music. Ooh. Is it for me? What should I do? You're telling me to ask why you're being drawn to music? I pulled the Virgin card. I'm so immature that I have to laugh at that card every time I pull it. That's a good reason to like want to do something though, because sometimes you can get into things because you think you're going to get money or fame or something like that. But there's something about music that really brings you purity of heart and spirit. That's what a virgin is symbolically. Don't think about the sex stuff. And because of it, it's like you're being drawn back to your childlike self, because the music is helping you really connect to something inside of yourself. And I think why they wanted to start here was because they're like, you can go either way. If you decide to pursue it, just remember this is why. And so if you're ever deviating off this path and you're doing it for other reasons, if you're doing it not because it makes you feel good and young at heart and pure in spirit, then you're probably going to not like it as much. You're not going to go as far with it because you start to get into doing it for all the wrong reasons. But it's like equally, I see it could go the other way. You could just do it for fun on the side, and it's something that just makes you happy. So what I'm going to do is just really quick and have your own cards, or you want to use your intuition and journal or do some automatic writing, I would ask Michael, what are the pros and cons of each? So then you can help better decide versus, being like, oh, am I going to do it or am I not going to do it? I'll just do something very quickly. These cards are so literal tonight. I love it. Okay, so if you do pursue it, Magic Stream of Abundance, this is the best card I see in this deck. It's when everything in your life flows, all the needs and wants are met. Again, if you're doing it from that same standpoint of your why being pure, your intention being pure behind it, I think you could really manifest some great things. This is about this. It's a what is this? A waterfall, and it's all about the flow of abundance and everything coming to you. All your needs and wants are met. If you don't do it, this is literally the card of following your passions, and it's in reverse, and it's somebody playing music. So if you don't do it, you're denying yourself this passion, this side of yourself that you connect so spiritually, intuitively. And I think you'd hate it because you would feel like you didn't try, you didn't pursue it. And so at the very least, it should still be in your life in some sort of way. But yeah, Michael, I say go for it. Okay, so Michael Joy was next. Kenzie said she was going to ask the same question. If there's any of that resonates, Kenzie, Spirit likes to work and hit multiple people in one, so. You met your favorite singer this weekend. Ooh, that's awesome. Okay, Michael's question was, what can my guides tell me about back when I was 10 and lost my ability to balance inner ear for a week? Definitely energetic first. Something with relationships. You guys, there's a grasshopper in here. No, I don't like them. It's not that I don't like them. Oh, fuck. It's that I don't like that they hop unpredictably. I just noticed his legs are crawling around the back of my light. I'm going to show you. Scared me. Can you see him? Where is he? Look at him. Look at him right there. Dude. What is with the grasshoppers tonight? Can you see him? He's moving around as I move the camera. Just don't hop at me, bro. I might swat you. That's the bad thing about being out in this shed. Here, I'm going to hold that thought, Michael. How did he even get in here? Oh, heebie-jeebies. Okay. So whenever I see animals that are clearly doing something weird and maybe trying to get my attention, I was saying grasshopper earlier outside of the window. Now there's a grasshopper in here. And then I was doing that guessing game and thinking about a grasshopper. So I have my animal spirit guidebook. I usually try to open it up and find whatever's in here. Grasshopper, and watch it not be in here. Yeah, dang it. The only bad thing about this book is like some animals are not in here. I mean, you can't have every animal unless it would be under cricket. Nope. Well, I'll just have to Google it. He just needs to keep his distance. Okay. Intimidated. The grasshopper might have a message. Michael Kelly, you were thinking right. Okay, sorry guys. Let me catch up. I have a few donations. And then we'll get back to free guessing game readings. Okay. So I was giving Michael back when you were 10. Like I feel like it's something you might not remember, but I feel like there was like relationships happening. Like something even traumatic or something negative happened, and it's almost like you lost your balance in life, like and it manifested physically. So I just want to ask, like, what caused this? It's little feelers. I don't like them. I guess I do have this door cracked. I see. So I pulled the Exorcist card, and it says fear of facing your own demons. So I feel like energetically at that point in your life, like something was going on, whether you remember it or not. And it's like it manifested physically. You know, I feel like the inner balance is so like symbolic for what was going on. At the time, you probably didn't feel balanced. I was really feeling like relationships, like family, like maybe family was just not supportive of you. You just felt like, who are these people? Are they here to take care of me? Are they not? Like, this is crazy. And I think during this week, it was like having to face this realization of like, I have these issues in my life, but I'm a kid. I don't know how to deal with them. And I feel like whenever it kind of went away was when you kind of felt like you got back on track with this. For a while, I couldn't walk. It's almost like energetically, I feel like I'm having even a hard time talking, which to me is like picking up on that energy. I would be curious to know if there was something that happened right around that time that really like threw you off. It makes sense that it would have a spiritual cause. Like, I feel like it's something small that you probably wouldn't, it's not like one of the bigger moments that you remember of like, you know, family doing something terrible, but it was almost like it all sort of cascaded. It's almost like, I feel like it was the realization moment of like, wow, you know, maybe these people that are supposed to take care of me are not the best people for me. And, you know, the stress of that can often just like throw life off. And I do think things like that manifest physically. And then it's like when it went away, it was almost like the realization had passed. You'd accepted it a little bit in a way. And it specifically says with the exorcist, destructive impulses. Like, I feel like this was you realizing the people around me are destructive and I have to be able to get rid of this and like get rid of this out of my life and say no to it. And I feel like it was an inner struggle of like, can I do this or can I not? And I think at the end you ultimately decided, oh, sorry, his little legs are so grass. He's just moving so slowly and creepy. I hope I can concentrate. I feel like somebody needs to make a compilation video of me freaking out to bugs in this room. It happens all the time. But yeah, was there anything else with that? Destructive impulses. I feel like that's why it happened. It was like you were resisting the fact that you had to address this, but you knew you had to address it. And again, it could be wrong, but that's like the energy around it that I'm getting. And some stuff like that, even with the inner ear thing, like you could have like fallen and poked your ear. I don't know how that happens, but and then it was actually like physical, but sometimes the stress of life can cause you to be in situations that are like that. But yeah, definitely like energetic first for me. Okay, so that was Michael. We got to Karen. Hello. Fuck. I'm gonna embarrass myself on live. You just like jumped and fell. Thank you, Karen. Sorry, Michael. I know you're like, that's not my question, but I go where spirit leads me first. And that was more important for you to know. But I think I got around to your answer. Attack it with your psychic mind. I don't want to do that. I love all the animals. I just don't like when they hop at me unexpectedly. Okay, so Michael says to that person from before what am I supposed to know what that is still here that I'm romantically involved with, just want an update. Okay, well, I can just do an update anyway. Hello, Chris. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up. How to know your spirit guide names. Ooh, that's hard. It's not hard, but it probably just takes practice of using your intuition and asking them what their name is. Sometimes they don't give you a name, and that's okay. Sometimes you can just energetically connect with them because it's like the familiar energy. I have a video on spirit guides, and I think I briefly talk about it there, but if I don't cover it, you guys can always leave comments and I get back to comments. Okay, so that person from before is still here. You know what? I actually... Ooh, these are all good cards. Okay. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, Michael, but the energy of the past with your guys' relationship, you guys have been very like humble. You've been very like, the energy that I'm getting is being like very cautious of each other's like boundaries and just being very respectful of each other. But in a lot of ways, you guys came in to maybe help each other at a time when you needed it. But it's not in a selfish way. Like some people get into a relationship and it's very like codependent or just dependent. But I feel like this Messiah card is like you guys came into each other's life to provide guidance and help. serving humanity with humility. And really, I'm reading that as like very humble energy, very considerate of each other. You guys came from a good start. I feel like this is Mount Fuji in the background. And that's important. Why is that important? You guys had big mountains that this is the more immediate future. You guys have had recent like mountains that you've kind of had to go across, like mountains in your relationship of things that need to be fixed. And where you're at right now, this is the Don Juan card. And this is just like positive, seductive qualities. This is just about like there's two people dancing. It's about being romantic, sexual with each other. I feel like, Michael, you'd probably argue this and say, no, it's not as good as it could be. And this is a call to say it can be, have that conversation, express your needs, find out what their needs are. But this can definitely be where you're at. You guys have such a solid foundation. Like you came together for the right reasons. You've been through some stuff. Right now, you guys can have some really good romantic quality time. And the future is alchemy, which is transforming goals into wisdom. I like to think of this card more as like whatever you guys manifest together, whatever you're trying to create, you can turn it into something actually physical, into reality. I'm immediately getting that you could possibly have kids with this person. If that's not something you want, you are not bound to that. You create your own future. I feel like you guys just mix really well and you create a very good version of both of yourselves. I feel like spiritually you guys are very in alignment, but I feel like maybe your reservations are, romantically or physically we're not quite there. But this is like confirmation that you can be. How to know your spirit animals? Same question or same answer. Arden. It's you have to kind of know, you have to ask, but you can use all the exercises on my channel to basically find out. You could do some automatic writing, find out who your spirit guide is, what their names are. Spirit animals, you could do a shamanic journey. Shamanic journey, I find, is the best for meeting your spirit animals because just the nature of shamanic journeys and shamanism is about learning your power animals and stuff like that. But check out all the exercises and you'll get to know them yourself. Or you could go see a psychic and they could tell you. I felt like an outsider. Yeah, I sort of remember that from the readings we've done in the past, Michael. When the grasshopper spirit animal comes leaping into your life, it signifies you need to make a tremendous leap of faith. Ooh. Do you guys want to read me? What tremendous leap of faith do I need to take? Hey, Michelle, welcome. So how my readings work, if you're new here, we play guessing games and we do free readings that way. But if somebody donates, I kind of put them first. So I'm catching up on donations and then we'll get back to giveaway readings as well. Okay, so I got Karen. Jordan. I keep checking him because he's like, he jumped onto the cord for this lamp and now he's crawling back up. You did a reading on it before a week ago. Oh yeah. And I apologize. I don't remember my readings, especially because when I'm doing readings, I'm reading from my psychic mind. And your psychic mind is not about remembering, categorizing, analyzing. It's really about letting it come in and letting it come out. And so because of that, I don't remember. And I read a lot of people and I have a lot of like private readings in between. So I apologize if I don't remember your names or the past readings. Just know it's nothing personal. Okay, Jordan, any advice on your spiritual journey? They want me to do one of these. It's so interesting as I get to know you guys and some of you that regularly get readings from me. When I tune into your guides, I can feel like such a total shift. Like Jordan, your guides are very like energetically different than some other people's, and other people that get a reading from me that I've done several times, I start to get familiar with not all of them individually, just kind of like the whole vibe in general, if that makes sense. So I got the Three of Wands, and this card, this woman is like balancing things. I love this. And when I think of the number 3, I think of balancing your mind, body, and spirit. And Jordan, I feel like that's kind of like an ongoing thing for you is balancing like body, physical world, the things you have to do, your mind, kind of like your thoughts, your analytical side, your spirit, which is your intuition, connecting with that higher source. And, for you right now, it's all about balancing those 3, making sure that all 3 are tended to. And the fact that it's wands, to me, that says like, it's very much a card of, being in your thoughts too much. And so I think sometimes you just overanalyze things. I'm curious, Jordan, if you're a Virgo. And right now it's more about embracing that creative, artistic, intuitive side of yourself versus maybe the more practical, analytical side. Expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the 5 senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. I almost wonder, Jordan, if you took the things that you experienced intuitively, because I feel like you're very, very intuitive and very connected in that way, but you have a hard time connecting with like people here in life here. I almost wonder like if you created something, even if it's like shared your thoughts in a blog or created a painting of like what you see. I feel like you might actually be able to bridge that gap a little bit better. Let me just see if there's anything else from Jordan. Come together. It's definitely like a vibe of, working with other people, not working with other people, but not shutting them out, embracing how your life could bring other in and you could connect both in mind, body, and spirit. Because I feel like you see other relationships in your life as like, oh, well, I can only connect with that person about day-to-day stuff like school or something. And I can only talk to this person about spiritual stuff. Like, I feel like it's finding people that are like-minded, that have all 3 kind of similar to you. And I feel like they'd improve a lot of areas in your life, even if it's like virtual people. But there's something about not shying away from other people that I think could be really helpful. And again, staying on that more creative, intuitive side and seeing if you can't connect with people through that instead of only feeling like you can talk about the weather, if that makes sense. Oh, that's a good point, Michael. Sometimes you can tell who your guides are by the type of messages they give you. Absolutely. I have one guide who really doesn't use words. Like I don't hear thoughts or I don't clairaudiently hear her. I just see the messages. And whenever I ask a question, she shows it to me. And so that's how I know her. How many super chats? I hope I got everybody. And if I ever skip over you, let me know, because sometimes that happens. Thank you, Lori. Still taking donations. Thanks, Lori. This is all true. Does she take PayPal? Yeah, no more PayPal, unfortunately. Just Venmo and Super Chat. Final question. Can do after free reading. Anything my guides want me to do. Did I do the free reading? Yeah, I did. Okay. Hello, Wendy. Okay, switching gears back to Michael. It's kind of helpful to jump between people because then I can wipe the slate clean between each person. And when I say wipe the slate clean, that's like really making sure that I'm not letting previous information that I got bias my current reading. Because what if that was wrong? And then I just go down this long trail of like wrongness. So that's something that I talk about in my videos, to be kind of a better psychic reader. I hope this doesn't freak you out, Michael, but they're saying that there's somebody standing behind you. And they're like, literally, they're encouraging me to tell you to like close your eyes and try to feel who it is. And I'm not supposed to tell you who it is, but I'll say that it's a family member. They're smiling. They really want you to understand that, like, they're there. And I'm curious, when you tune into them, how do you feel them? Say, what? Yeah, and that's why I was like, I don't want to freak you out. We can say, I know this is a being of your highest and best good, but they're wanting to draw your attention to your clairs and how you receive. So, like, literally, I'm just going to take your reading time to stop, close your eyes, and I want you to tell me what they're behind you, but which side are they behind you on? And can you feel them? Feel them out for me. And then tell me where you feel like they are spatially to you. And then I want you to realize how you know they're there. And if you don't, that's okay, but I'm still going to ask, like, why. Oh, that one. See, and the fact that you're like so freaked out by it, I feel like you're just not in touch with the fact that you could be connecting to your own guides. I literally pulled the guide card. Like, this is a guide that's like, hey, I'm here. That's so funny. I love how they're like introducing themselves to you. But they're very much wanting you to pay attention to how you feel. I just felt drawn. Okay. And so to me, that says you're probably feeling claircognizance. Left side. That's exactly where I saw it, Michael. I saw it back here and to the left. I'm like, in your position, you know exactly where they are. And I think they're wanting to encourage you to use more of your clairsentience, which is your clear feeling. That's so funny. Yeah. You got it, Michael. And I think that's the thing, is this guide literally wants you to just be physically aware of them. They want you to start feeling them out more because they're around you. And they just want you to know. Ooh, awkwardly zen and meetup. Oh yeah, meetup is great. Awesome. Thank you, Michael. All right. I think I'm all caught up, right? Got Jordan, got Michael's other question. I know that, like, they want you to know that they're there. That's what they want you to know. And that you can feel them and you don't have to come to me. Start there. Start exploring those relationships and see if you can tune into them every now and then. Just make sure you're protecting yourself. You're talking to beings of your highest and best good. That's so funny, Michael. They're like, we're helping you. We're here. We'll teach you right here in the middle of the Lauryn's Live. Awkwardly zen. I'm going to write that down. Alrighty, folks. Let's do some more guessing games. I have these little pumpkin lights up behind me, but you can't even see. They're just like specks. I also bought way too many pumpkins at the store the other day. I'm thinking of a color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. Again, members, next week we have our member live. Bring a rock. I know that's weird. Just trust me. It's one of my favorite exercises to do as a psychic. Lime green. Sometimes I think you guys read each other. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. And remember to send me your orb photos if you have them. Purple, Jordan, you got it. So even though Jordan donated, he's still eligible, or he, she, they are still eligible for a reading. So Jordan, let me know what your question is. And remember to follow me on Instagram as well, because I'm going to have a fun Halloween giveaway in October. And so you're going to have to enter through there if you're on Instagram. Let me think of a question. Yay! It'll probably take 2 minutes. No worries, Jordan. I'll take this time to give my spiel, because I think I'm going to wrap up in like 15-ish minutes. So maybe I'll do one more free reading after this, and then we'll wrap up with donations. I feel like this night went by so fast. Darn it, I said purple. You were so close, Karen. Still available for readings if you are in the Colorado area. Also events. Halloween is my most busy season. I've already got 2 weekends pretty much booked. So if you have a Halloween party and you're thinking about having me, get that request in soon. I can't believe, I'm glad that we are kind of over the COVID stuff-ish enough to, for me to be back in person for Halloween events. I'm so excited for Halloween this year because I feel like we just missed all of last year. It was such a bummer. Let's see. Any other things that I have to say? Yeah, just be aware that donation prices will go up in October. And yeah, I won't be live next week if you're not a member for the member live, but I will be back the following Tuesday. Well, heck, why don't we, while we're waiting for Jordan to come up with a question, we'll just pick our last free reading. I am thinking of, that's too vague. I'm thinking of, I just keep thinking of pumpkins. I'm so like in Halloween mode. I'm thinking of a fruit. If you can guess the fruit that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. I also have coaching available now. I have coaching packages. I have a coaching session tomorrow morning. I'm super excited about that. Let's see. I had to remember what my fruit was. Are you guys getting colder weather too? Today and yesterday were really cold here in Colorado, and I was so excited. I'm not a summer person. I like warm clothes. Nobody's gotten it yet. Thinking of a fruit. I know I haven't been like on live very often, so we've not had very many people in here, which is lucky for you guys because it means more chances, more free readings. Wasn't today pretty, Lori? Oh, so nice. Nobody's gotten it yet. Fruit. I fed this to my son today. Try to pick it up intuitively. Grapes. Lori, you got it. So Lori, let me know your question. We will do Lori and Jordan. And other than that, we'll just kind of wrap up the free readings for tonight and do donations. So if you were itching to get a question in, send a donation in. Sweet. I feel like sometimes if you just show up often enough, you just end up getting so many free readings. Like, I feel like that's what happens. Let's see. Oh, and you guys, if you don't know already, I do have memberships, and the first level gets you all sorts of cool emojis and badges. And then the second level gets you into our member only live, which is going to be next week. And then our third level gets you into member only videos. So those videos are exclusive to members. And we just came out with a meditation on show you the way. Like when you don't know what's supposed to be next in life, when you feel lost, when you just feel like you're not picking up the signs, that's what that meditation is for. So there are even more perks for all of those levels. Obviously, the first level, you get the chance to get a free reading throughout the night. The second level, you also get a monthly card reading from me for like as a group. And then the third level, you get drawn, like everybody gets in a raffle to possibly win a 15-minute reading from me. So you get lots of perks at each of those levels. I'm curious, I want to talk to members next week. I want to see if you guys really feel like the memberships are worth the price, because I want to make sure that you feel like you're getting your money's worth. Because I have a membership with somebody else that does readings, and she does a Patreon, and I feel like I totally get my money's worth out of that. It makes me so happy, and I want you guys to feel that same way. Okay, let me do Jordan really quick. This is redundant, but how is the integration between myself and him? I'm glad I pulled this deck tonight. I'm really feeling this deck. I saw somebody else make a wish list on their YouTube, and she put it in the comments of her video, and people buy her gifts all the time, and I was like, oh, I want that. So I put a wish list in my comments, just in case you feel like donating. But all the things I have in there are things for this channel. So like more tarot cards, so we can mix it up every now and then, and stuff for my other videos. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of the relationship that I'm getting. Damsel and I never know how to say this word. Dilettante. So it's funny because these are very similar cards, and I pulled one upright and one reversed. And so to me, this is saying, in some ways, you rely on this guide too much. Like it's that damsel in distress, like, princess in the tower that needs to be saved. But literally at the same time, you're doing this balance of sometimes you're not relying on them. You're not being superficial in your pursuits. You don't have pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. But then sometimes you have it. It's like you go back and forth. You go back and forth of being like too dependent on this guide. Maybe, feeling like you have all this knowledge that makes you better than other people around you. Maybe you start to become superficial because you think, you have all this information and better than everybody else. But then at the same time, it's like you're not. You understand the nature of a healthy relationship. You rely on yourself. You delight in the enjoyment of it without feeling like you have to like completely 100% master it. So I feel like this is just confirmation, Jordan, that you're on the right path with this guide. Just remember this. Keep this in the back of your mind and keep doing that balance. And obviously try to lean more towards the eliminating those bad things that don't work out. That kind of reliance, the thinking that you have much more knowledge than you actually do, to becoming superficial. We want to inspire you to rely on yourself. Is kind of like the takeaway from that. Cool. And then I'll jump up to Lori for our last free reading. Is this Patreon? This is YouTube. And my memberships are actually through YouTube. Some people do their memberships through this website called Patreon. And I was just talking about how I pay for somebody else's Patreon. But my memberships are all through my YouTube, and you can purchase those on, there's like a blue join button, and you can see all the levels and the prices. Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing either until I got monetized, and they were like, "Oh, do you know you can do memberships?" And I was like, "I haven't even seen any other YouTubers do this." So pretty cool. I just think it's easier to do it through there versus Patreon. I'm sure Patreon probably gives you more money, but who knows? Okay, let me do Lori's question really quick. Do my guides have any messages for me? Okay. I'm trying to force myself to have a tarot deck every live night just so I can get better. Like the first message that's coming through is like, don't beat yourself up. You've been listening. You've been trying. Like, you know it's difficult. We appreciate that you're like even considering our opinions. Hang on. I'm going to have to Google these. I know what it feels like. Yes. Okay. I feel like this is all mental because we pulling swords, and then we have the minor arcana of judgment. In this card, it's called, in this deck, it's called temptation. And I feel like I did past, present, future for you, Lori. And I feel like the past, I feel like you've been tempted by like bad thoughts, by negative thoughts. You've been like struggling with things, and you've been kind of been thrown through the loop, and you're being forced to like stay on your toes and be like, no, I'm not going to accept this in my life. No, I deserve this. I deserve better. So I feel like the past, you've been kind of thrown through this loop, and you're just like, ah. But the great thing is the present is like you're starting to find control over it. You have mental clarity, intellectual power, authority, and you're finding the truth more. That's what the King of Swords is. So okay, I have to remember that. And swords is all about mental thoughts, stuff like that. And so the fact that it's the king means you've sort of like mastered it. So, and I'm saying these things out loud to like help me remember the tarot, which is something you can do if you're trying to learn. So mental clarity. I feel like because of all of this back and forth in the past, you're really at a spot where you're just like, yes, I've got it. I understand where I'm supposed to be. And honestly, I feel like their message, because the next card is the Nine of Swords in reversed. So I feel like that's taking a step backwards. I feel like you're going to be a little bit confused again. And just know if that situation comes up, if it's happening, it's just that temptation coming back. But let me double check what. And so the thing with Nine of Swords reverse, it's talking about inner turmoil, deep-seated fears, releasing worry. So if you're finding that you're still kind of coming back into this mental state, it's all about releasing the mental thoughts around it that are negative. I'm really feeling like the fears, like in your mind, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this because of XYZ, or you're like being too practical about it. And it's like, no, these are just fears that you're having, fears that aren't true, that you're telling yourself. And as soon as you can like get past these fears and worries, you're going to get back into this like mental clarity, being able to see the truth. So I feel like you've done like 3 steps forward, and they're just letting you know that there might be a step backwards, and just to remember to pay attention to like those inner thoughts, what you're telling yourself, what those fears are. Because I feel like as soon as you acknowledge the fear, you're going to be like, oh, that's just because I'm afraid of abandonment or something like that. And then you're going to be like, oh, I have everything I want and need. That's not a problem. And then you're going to get back to this place of clarity. You know what's funny is every time I see this card, I think of this painting that's behind me. And I think what that means to me is like finding your inner sanctuary, finding your safe place in your mind psychically. And maybe there's something about that for you. Like, I feel like I don't know, Lori, if you've listened to my psychic sanctuary video, but I feel like going to your psychic sanctuary and like literally making a place in the sanctuary where you can dump your fears. Like maybe it's a well and you go there and you dump your fears and you're like, this isn't going to bother me anymore. Like if that's what you need to do to kind of like really set that. Awesome. Ooh, that's interesting, Michael. You might be right. I wasn't picking up any sort of gender. They were just like, you're not allowed to know because he's got to figure it out on his own. And it could also be somebody more distantly related. But that's the thing, is they wanted you to just use your intuition, try to do it yourself. Personally, I was feeling a female, but that was just me. Hello, Giselle. Welcome. I am smarter than I used to be. Hey, Kelly. Kelly also sent me a really good orb photo. I'm really excited to use hers. I know what you mean, Lori. They're so annoying. Your tacos finally arrived. Yay! Alrighty. So we're wrapping up the free readings for tonight. We'll just do donated readings. If anyone still wants to do that, I'll just kind of hang out for a bit. We'll see. I love that picture. The one behind me, I don't even know if you can see it. You probably can't see it because of my light. No, there's still glare. Too many reflective things in here. Oh, and I will say this week's video, I don't want to call it a disappointment. It might be. I apologize in advance. But this week's video is actually going to be a new updated channel trailer for me. So it's not going to be like a normal video of mine. But I think it's been at least 2 years before I did it, or since I've done a channel trailer. All I know is that I did it in my bedroom when I was still filming videos in my bedroom. Now I have like a studio and I have this like shed that I've tried to like sort of decorate. But that channel trailer is really old and I want to update it, especially because I have so many new folks following me. Also, I passed 3,000 subscribers while I was on vacation. Awesome. Thank you guys all so much. But yeah, so this week's going to be a little bit of a channel trailer. So for those of you who know me, you're going to know all the information. But basically, it's very helpful for YouTube to have that. So if somebody's new, they can see everything of what I'm all about right at the top. And it's kind of cool because if you've already watched it, it won't show up again for you. But yeah, that is going to be this Friday. But next week starts this series of videos, which I'm really trying to put in a little bit of extra effort for. So I'm very excited. We're going to have an orb video. We're going to have a Halloween reaction video, but it's also sort of me describing things in these movies and if they really happen or not, and kind of how I see it, and if it or like, I don't know, like I'm specifically thinking of the Harry Potter scene with Moaning Myrtle and like talking about, oh, do we see ghosts like that? And I should talk about like Nearly Headless Nick and stuff. But I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I've got planned. I'm definitely going to do a video on how to help spirits pass. A lot of you guys have requested that for several reasons. So it's going to be me teaching you guys like all the different things you can do if you feel like you've come across a spirit and they're not fully crossed over. And the great thing about October is we have like isn't there 5 weeks in October? So you're going to have October related videos. We're going to have a pick a card reading that's probably going to be communicating to deceased loved ones. I want to do a ghost hunt. I'm desperately trying to find a place that might have activity that will also let me film. Very difficult, but I know I'm missing other ones, but that's a little bit of a taste for some of my October videos. Hey, Lady Akane. Silly Rabbit, you're making me hungry. I've started fasting again, and so I basically don't eat from like 7 p.m. to 9 a.m., and it's hard because I crave food mostly late at night. And so when you say tacos, I'm like, oh my God, that sounds so good. Thank you, Kelly. Thank us, Lori. Yeah, I basically didn't get to really chat with you guys about my latest videos. So we've had 2. We've had one where I've interviewed my husband. Curious, that actually did a lot better than I thought it would. And then last week's video was about how to ask questions better so that you can get better psychic answers. And I feel like a lot of people probably see that as boring, but it's so important because if you don't know how to ask questions correctly of like your guides, then you often don't get the answers correct. And it's so important. And so definitely gave away some of my course material in that. But yeah. And I am planning on making a much more elevated course that will probably come out next year sometime. I'm sort of rewriting my whole courses to just any part that I was unclear on, anything that I just didn't really go into as much because I was trying to do it on a budget and I was trying to make those videos short. But I'm really going to make it like full-fledged, full video courses. I'm going to call it like my master class, and that'll probably come out sometime next year. We'll see. I definitely have to rewrite things. I want to create printables. I want to create like exercises that you can actually follow along with instead of me just like talking to you the whole time. But so for those of you who have already bought my courses, there will be a lot more content in there as well. I might as well just throw the mediumship as part of it, but I don't know. I'll have to see what I'm going to do. I'm glad you're here, Giselle. You're a little bit behind on videos. That's okay. 5 weeks. What was I talking about? Okay, so Kelly said, I've been having a guy by the name of Henry come through a lot on my meditations. Oh, this feels odd. Okay. Does he feel familiar to you, Kelly? I feel like this answer is going to be really weird, but I should just give it anyway. That questions video is super helpful. Oh, I'm glad. Very. Okay. So I'm going to go with it. You could throw it out the window. But what it feels like is almost like an imaginary friend. And I immediately got that. And then they showed me somebody that I read ages ago. And like I was reading this girl and she had like a teddy bear. It was like a bear coming across as like a guide. And I was reading it and I was like seeing him as a person, but he was also a bear. And I was describing him and everything. And she was just like, oh my God. And it turned out it was her teddy bear. And I was like, and this baffles me still to this day. And she was like, I felt like that teddy bear had like a soul. And I guess like as a kid, you know, you can easily be connecting with a spirit and you could be attaching it to a stuffed animal because your brain is trying to like conceptualize it. Not saying that this is a teddy bear for you, Kelly, but I feel like this is somebody that you met and maybe spoke with as a child. They feel very benevolent, very good. Like I immediately got the download. I haven't thought about that reading in like ages. But it feels very similar. Like an imaginary friend, if it was like a stuffed animal or a Barbie doll to you, that might have been the case. But this is somebody you connected with as a child, and it's almost like they're reintroducing themselves to you. Obviously, they probably look different, feel different. That's why I asked if they were familiar, because I felt like you talked to them before. And I don't know, even if you didn't have like friends, like I didn't have imaginary friends, but like I spoke to like fake people sometimes. And I think that in some ways we are connecting with spirit when we're smaller. And so I'm just asking like who this guide is and like maybe what they're here for. And they're here to make you feel a little silly. Like this is the Fool card. This is like innocence, childlikeness. This is like perfect. It's about fearlessly revealing emotion, helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. That's kind of perfect because that's how I was feeling. I was like, this is absurd. This is crazy. And so maybe he's coming in to bring that energy into your life. Maybe that's something that you need right now. I wouldn't get so caught up in like necessarily who he was, but maybe just try to find out what he wants. Like there's something about your life right now that you need, that you probably also needed back then. And I also pulled the Goddess card. I feel like he's here to also help you get in touch with like your inner self. Like I don't necessarily see this as always like sexual, like sometimes it can be, but this is like life force, wisdom, sensuality, nature. This is like you. And I feel like maybe you haven't been connected with that side of yourself. Like, what is it you want? Fearlessly revealing that emotion, like being that weirdo within yourself, being that child within yourself. Like, I feel like the person that you portray yourself as is kind of like what you think everyone wants you to be. It's like, who do you want to be? What does this goddess Kelly look like? And he's here to help you with that. And it's because that's how you were as a kid. And he's trying to bring that energy in from your childhood. I wouldn't be surprised if he like presented things about your past childhood that like really connected with you and helped you now. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally that way because of this experience. And then you're able to step more into this goddess power. I'm totally thinking of a book. Ugh. If anyone wants to read this book, I can't recommend it enough, especially for like shadow work, which is really just identifying patterns of yourself that you're not paying attention to, the things about yourself that we could improve and get better on, the things that trigger us. And it's called How to Do the Work. And it's really a psychology book, but it's a holistic psychology. So it's addressing all aspects of the mind, like spiritual, mental, everything. But yeah, I'm also feeling that book for you, Kelly. He's definitely coming in to help you with like inner child work for sure. Ooh, awesome. I'm glad you're here, Nathan. Love your artwork in the background. And I'm done with free readings for tonight, so just donation only. I'm going to wrap up soon. My throat really hurts. And of course, it's like in the middle of the live reading that it starts to get the worst. Taco for you. Thank you for the taco. Thank you for the digital taco. Lots of new people. I came across your channel looking for more information, and I'm so glad I did. I'm honored. Thank you. I hope that my Virgo or crazy organized playlist will help you find what you need. You've been fasting too. You usually don't eat until 2. Oh, you're going hardcore. My husband can do that. I'm like, I gotta eat like when I wake up, so I have to do it earlier in the night, or else I'm like so hangry in the morning. And I totally agree, Michael. It makes me feel so much better. I can't wait to see your additions. Yes. I feel like when I made those courses, I mean, I'm glad I did because it's helped me, be more of a full-time psychic up until now. But I did them on the beginning of my YouTubeness, and I feel like I was just kind of like, I've gotten better about being on camera, and there's a lot of little things about those courses that I think could be better. The content is good, like I always say, but I feel like my performance could be good, and I can just add so much more to it. Especially now that I have so many of you guys and you guys ask questions and I've made further videos based on your questions. It helps me get back into that beginner mindset of like, what do I do? How do I do this? Ooh, carne asada fries. I mean, Kelly, if you feel like that, definitely explore it. And that's something you can just ask. Like, do a journey, do a meditation, be like, how do we know each other? And just see what you get. You can even do a dreaming exercise and ask, hey, how do we know each other? Or tonight, I'm going to dream about this guide and see what you dream about. I did briefly discuss that in my first dreaming video. I'm going to have the next one probably in November. I'm doing all my fun Halloween stuff, and then in November we're going to see updated Claire videos. We're also going to see dreaming videos. I'm going to do more videos. I have plenty of videos. Everyone's coming in. Hi, just came across your channel. I'm always like, how do I respond? Cool, thank you. Glad you're here. Can I still donate? Yes. So we're just doing donations. I'm sort of wrapping up my night. Otherwise, you can join us basically every Tuesday. Next Tuesday is going to be a member only live night, which anyone is welcome to join. You just have to join the membership. But otherwise, subscribe, and then you can catch me every Tuesday doing live readings. Tamale Kitchen. Is that the restaurant? I haven't heard of that. But yeah, I think my long point was that this video this week is going to be a channel trailer, so not a whole lot of additional new things, but we're going to get started with October. I'm excited. It is. Ooh. I feel like I have yet to find really good Mexican food in Colorado. I feel like I've tried some and they're just meh. I had some really good Mexican food in California last week. Oh, so good, but I guess that's what you get for growing up on Casa Bonita. Am I right? By the way, Lori, I don't know if you're a Casa Bonita fan. I am, but the South Park creators bought out Casa Bonita. I'm so excited. That just means that place is going to be so much better. And that is a moment where my husband was totally being psychic because during COVID, Casa Bonita, for those of you who are unaware, is a restaurant here in Denver that it's like a whole experience. You go in and there's cliff divers, there's a pool, there's a deep pool. It's surrounded by cliffs and a waterfall, and there's guys that dive into the water, and you're eating Mexican food. There's like mariachi bands. They also have performances. There's a famous one where a gorilla gets off his leash and runs around the audience. And this place has notoriously awful food, but it's just like a staple of Colorado. They have a cave, like a scary, spooky cave that you can go into, like an arcade. What am I missing? I think that's basically it. They have a magician show that never runs. But the place smells like chlorine. The food is shit, but the sopapillas are amazing. You go for the sopapillas. That's the joke. But during COVID, obviously shut down. It was going bankrupt. And my husband saw that it was going, or I don't know if it went bankrupt or it was just like needing help. But my husband was like, oh, we should start a petition to have the South Park guys buy it. I know I'm going on a long tangent. But and the reason why he was saying the South Park guys is the South Park guys made an episode about Casa Bonita. It's season 7, episode 11. I always remember because 7-11. But and South Park is set in Colorado, if you didn't know. But so my husband was like, we could do this. How do we get, this is my idea. And he was so passionate about it. And I was like, I'll just entertain this for a little bit. But it was a couple of days where my husband was like so convinced, and he was like, how would I do this? And I was like, I don't know really how to get in touch with celebrities. Like, seems like you have to have a Twitter following, and maybe that's the only way you can get in touch with them. But then craziness, like a month later on the news, South Park creators bought Casa Bonita. And I was just like, Ian, you manifested that. That was just, oh my gosh, it was so good night, Loopy Loop. I know I'm so, for you folks in Europe, I'm on at like the worst time. Good night, I'm sorry. Low standards. So puppies are amazing. I'm hungry. Awesome. I don't think we have any more donations, so I think we're gonna wrap it up with my Casa Bonita story. But I'm so excited because them buying it, they're just, I mean, they also created the Book of Mormon. They're all about like satire and making fun of things, like, and they even said in their interview that we know what Casa Bonita is great for and how great it could be. And we're gonna make it be that way. And everyone was like, they even did an interview with the governor of Colorado, and I'm just so stoked. Anyway, Silly Rabbit, let me know what question you have. Lady Akane, welcome. Thank you for getting a membership. I'm excited to have you. The longer that you're on the membership, the more your like badge evolves. So like you can see Lori, she's been like a member for a little bit longer, so she's got an open eyeball. You know what? And I never switched to an owl. I think the owl would be cooler because these, you can't really tell what it is. It kind of just looks like an almond. Okay. Recently, my aunt passed, and there's a lot of work changes and family stuff going on at the same time. And I have a lot of emotions swirling in me. I feel like immediately, Silly Rabbit, call me crazy. But I feel like it's a lot like external stuff. Have I said that to you before? I don't know if I have, but like literally like I'm being drawn to like the cycles of the moon. I'm being drawn to like astrology. Like I feel like it's just like you wouldn't have been able to avoid it. Like crap hit the fan because it was supposed to, because of like what's going on. I feel like, and they're specifically like telling me that you and I might be very astrologically similar, and because of that, like we've both had this same energy going on the last couple of months, because last couple of months we've been doing like Aquarius, or we've been having like moons in Aquarius, which is all about like friendship and families, and those have just kind of gotten rocked for sure. And thank you again. I'm so glad you're here. I'm about to level up soon. Does it show you that like when you're gonna level up? I'm curious. I only see like basically the memberships in general. I never see what you guys see. I do feel a connection in the moon cycle. Okay. Well, I feel like it's so funny because I finally picked up the Moonology book. I think maybe it was Lori that recommended that. I finally picked it up. I have it from the library with me. And of course, it's been sitting in the bedroom for like 2 months and it's overdue now. And I'm like, oh, I should read this. But that book, if you haven't gotten into it specifically, like, I feel like if you maybe learned a little bit more about like what is coming up, like very specifically, just like which cycle the moon is going in and like which house of yours it's affecting, I feel like that's like why this has been happening. And I feel like there's nothing you could do to control it. It's just, but if you would have known about it ahead of time, you would have been able to handle it a little bit better. These cards are so perfect. Okay. I pulled too many, so I'll go through them briefly, but you are a one-ring circus right now. You're trying to do it all. So this is very much like delegate energy. If there's anything you can give to other people in work, or even if you can't do that, it's about like cutting things off your plate. Sad embrace is all about feeling those emotions instead of avoiding them. Like it's okay to fully feel them. And what I love about the sad embrace card too is it's saying that the emotions that we see as negative, like sadness, anger, that sometimes feeling them can be healing, and to not beat yourself up if you're in modes of just needing to cry about it. Especially with this Peaks of Joy card in reverse, this is about understanding that life is like this. And right now you're just kind of on the downswing, and there just seems to be a little bit more of those drops than those rises. And when I say that, I'm like visualizing a roller coaster. But it's understanding that, to have hope that the peaks will come back, that the joy will come back. And right now you're riding the wave. Right now, the emotional side of it, you can't force anything to happen. You're just letting the waves crash, and you're just going with the flow. I feel like this card, though, is the most important, and it's understanding that there's good and bad, that there's ups and downs. What is it that I'm missing? It's that I feel like you've had so many downs lately that you can't see the ups. It's like you can't even imagine things getting better, and that's what's kind of like keeping you down. And I feel like this was me like a month or two ago. It was so hard to be optimistic and to see the possibility in things. And that's like first order of business, is like find the optimism even when you don't feel like it. Try to at least understand or feel like one day it is going to get better. I feel like that show me the way meditation would be like perfect. Peace of joy. Yeah, it's more like what this card is like you're just not able to, you don't feel like it's ever going to get better because you've just been in the bottom of it for so long. But as long as you're feeling the emotions and maybe not trying to take it on all by yourself, I mean, that could even be asking for help in a lot of ways. And that you're a therapist, I think is what you said. Yeah. I hope it gets better, silly rabbit. I just know it is soon. Alrighty, you guys, I think I am going to wrap up for tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Members, I will see you next week. For the rest of you, I will see you the week after. Again, that's not like exclusive. Anyone can join. And let's see. I think that's it. Remember to send me those orb photos. Bunch of fun October videos coming your way. I'm very excited for October. I've got a lot of filming to do this week. Yeah. Good night. I hope you all have a fantastic night. Sleep well. We are still in the cycle of the full moon. So if you haven't done a ritual yet, you can still do one. Pisces moon is all about like feelings, intuition, emotions. So it's really about feeling those feelings. And then tomorrow is the autumn equinox. So try to do something fun for that. Try to, autumn equinox is all about harvesting the efforts that you've put in. So really, honestly, tomorrow, if the least you do is make like a gratitude list of everything that you've accomplished so far this year, or even since the last autumn equinox, do it, because that's kind of the energy that we want to get into for the equinox. Thank you, Karen. Alrighty, you guys. I don't want to get off, but I'm exhausted, so I should get off. I miss you guys. I will see you all next week for those of you joining me for the member only live. All right, good night.